All right. Okay. If everyone could switch to speaker mode, and what that does, that highlights the person speaking or presenting during their time slot. So you can go up in the right corner, click on the view button, and select speaker view. I think we're ready to start. Does everyone feel ready? Yeah? Okay, good. Welcome. My name is Paul. This is our fundraiser event, Sharing Love Lightens the Heart, put on by the Center for World Networking. And as you know, the Center for World Networking is an educational, nonprofit organization. We're dedicated to networking individuals and organizations that promote well-being, promote greater health. Tonight is a fundraising event, and the beneficiary of our fundraising event is to provide Christmas presents to children in need. We want to provide gifts to 200 children of the Center for Farmworker Families. And we also want to be able to provide, through your help, financial support. And we'll learn more about that as the evening goes on. So tonight is a celebration of music, poetry, videos about the farm worker families. And we'll also have time for what we call community connection. It'll be held by Jayashree. Just a few things about using Zoom tonight. We're going to ask that everyone stay muted unless you're the presenter, so that our full attention can be on who's presenting for that moment. So with that, I'm going to introduce MaryAnna. She's going to bless this evening with an invocation. And her invocation will be a welcoming song and prayer. So please welcome MaryAnna.
So I'm going to begin with a song and then lead into a prayer. As one we walk this earth together, as one we sing to her our songs, as one we love her, as one we Beloved Creator, our hearts are full with gratitude. Gratitude to come together in community to celebrate this time, calling in the spirit of the children, the spirit of play, the spirit of joy, the spirit of innocence, and calling in the ancestors of the lands that each one of us is on. Yes, sharing love lightens the heart, and we give gratitude for this time. Thank you, Creator, and thank you to all of the beings from the illumined realms of truth that surround us and protect us and are always with us. Gracias. And now, Cathy Black will lead us in a meditation.
Thank you. So happy to be here with everyone tonight. I'm actually in Taos, New Mexico, and actually without Zoom, I wouldn't be able to be here. So thank you for asking, and I'm so happy to be here. For this meditation, if you could just find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and go inside, and I'll ring a bell to begin and to end. Feel the rise and fall of your chest, the gentle movement of your breath. As you breathe, imagine us all in a circle. Here we are together, connected through light, through love. And just imagine yourself standing in a waterfall of light. Breathing it into every cell. Releasing, letting go into the earth. Receiving the blessings that are here. letting them radiate through us into the world. Gradually bring your attention back to your own breath, the beating of your heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Cathy. Good evening. I am Bhavananda. In Sri Yukteswar's New Year's address of January the 6th, he spoke about 2020 being a year of consequence. We come here to learn from consequence as a means of self-discovery and as a means of realizing more of our potential. He said that you are in a world that's completely chaotic and you are being offered advanced teachings. He asked that we look around and open our eyes. This would not be a year where we can expect gentleness. It would be a year where everyone would be called to action in some form or another. So let's look around. We continue facing a pandemic that has taken 1.7 million lives worldwide. Our political system is completely chaotic. We bear witness to killings under the flag of racism. and structures and systems that continue to perpetrate a narrative that Blacks, Indigenous, Brown people, and people of color are broken and defective. And as we look around, we realize that enslavement and colonialization is the fabric of which we are all woven into. We have social injustice. We have political issues and environmental issues where 8,000 fires ravaged and destroyed 4 million acres in California. We have wars where people are killed and tragically displaced, along with homelessness and worldwide hunger. Now, that is a mouthful. I believe where injustice prevails, hopelessness prevails. And I really had to look for the hope in Sri Yukteswar's message as we continue to move through a pandemic, about to arrive to the winter solstice and bring completion to 2020. I want to share his words that spoke of hope to me, and they are his direct words. It's a year of consequence, and it's also a year of awakening. A year of awakening your more advanced potentials. So that when you are walking, you are not just walking to a destination, but you are aware of how you are moving. When life gives information and feedback to us, you are not just blaming others or thinking it has nothing to do with you, but you are standing up to it. You are listening to it and taking responsibility. In some cases, blessing it, and in some cases, moving to action. Be the intention of a warrior. Be the intention of an advanced yogi. Be the intention of a master. Be aware of the chaos around you, and yet be aware that the chaos points to transformation. And if you stay in the awareness of personal transformation, then that chaos awakens for you the potential of growth and the potential of wisdom. He spoke about interaction. It's a lot about listening. And many times it's starting with the willingness to hear more than we want to hear. And that is how we begin to mend. Guruji spoke to the tonal quality of the New Year's message as appearing somber, but he stated that it's also joyful. You can play with the energy more freely, bring more of yourself forward, and there can be joy in realizing that we are no longer trying to control life. It is utter chaos. But we are listening to it. As we listen to it, we grow with it. As we grow with it, we help it to grow, to become more of its transformed state as well. Guruji's words in summary are, the theme this year is consequence. Pay attention. It's not a year for us to put our head in the sand. You have to be present. You have been training for a long time in your world, in your own ways. The basic tool is to breathe. Be centered and breathe. Let as much as your heart can come through and listen. Breathe and listen. And do things in a growing way so that you can move out of your own stubborn patterns and can awaken to be much more present. Thank you, Sri Yukteswar. And thank you, Teresa. And thank you, my brothers and sisters, for the work that we do. As we know, each step is a prayer, and each prayer a step. So now I'm going to move my Zoom buttons around. Thank you. Thank you. And highlight Ray, our webmaster. And I'm very happy that he's going to offer, or both of them, blessings, a ballot this evening. Welcome.
Thank you, Bhavananda. This song is called Holiday. 'Tis the season of changing, 'tis the season of cheer. Families all come together to warm up the end of the year. Children get so excited for presents we bear, and the beast in the oven is something we all get to share. Jingling, 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 jing. Jingling, jingling. Now we give of our bounty, and we give of our wealth, reaching out to each other in happiness, blessings, and health. Growing hope for the future from seeds that are planted today. Shining light through the sorrow, we gather around candles and pray. Jingling, 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 jing. Jingling, 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 jing. So be sure what you wish for is harmless and good. Love the people around you, allow them to be understood. Cherish kindness and friendship, and offer them freely and clear. Share your heart with your loved ones, and gift them each day of the year. Jingling, 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 jing. 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 Jingling, jing.
I'm going to introduce Danusha, who will read for us. And here she is, right next to me.
And changing of the guards. Oh, I just am feeling so fed by that, Armando, and by all of your offerings tonight. What a gift. I just feel spirit pouring through into this space. And I love being with all of you, even in miniature. How very tiny you are. And, and I am in here. And maybe this is how it will be in the astral. We'll all just get to be you can be itty bitty and just flying around together. We're practicing. That's what we're doing in Zoom. We're beyond time and space. So I'm going to read you a poem, and it's the new moon, I believe, the eclipse and the new moon. And the new moon tends to be a time when we want to plant a seed. What are we planting? And so I thought I'd read this next poem because it's about kindness. And I think that's something we probably all could just use a lot more of after a year like this one and during a year like this one. So I will read it. I wrote this at the time of the last election, interestingly enough. So around this time of year, 4 years ago. Small kindnesses. I've been thinking about the way when you walk down a crowded aisle, people pull in their legs to let you by. Or how strangers still say bless you when someone sneezes, a leftover from the bubonic plague. Don't die, we are saying. And sometimes when you spill lemons from your grocery bag, someone else will help you pick them up. Mostly, we don't want to hurt each other. We want to be handed our cup of coffee hot and to say thank you to the person handing it, to smile at them and for them to smile back, for the waitress to call us honey as she sets down the bowl of clam chowder, and for the driver in the red pickup truck to let us pass. We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire. Only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy? These fleeting temples we make together when we say, here, have my seat. Go ahead, you first. I like your hat. Thank you.
We're having some moving difficulty. So hi, everyone. I was thinking a lot about the message that Bhavananda so beautifully retold in a way about the year and how it's a year of consequence. And in this year of consequence, sometimes, as they're saying, sometimes we forget that there's things to be grateful for, that when we have difficulties, there are things that we're grateful for because it allows us to learn about ourselves and to expand into more of who we are. So I wanted to share a song. It's a song in Spanish that talks a little bit about that. It's a song that says talks about how when we're lost, in a way, it's a blessing to be lost, and we've been lost a lot in these years. And it's a blessing because it kind of reminds us about who we are. So it reminds us to come back. Cuando viajo a la luna, vuelo en alas de cristal. Me baño en la luz de su ensueño y la noche me envuelve en su mar. Y me dejo caer a la tierra donde me puedas amar. Y saco mi guitarra, mi compañera, y dejo la luna cantar. Yo sé que siempre olvido de cuando sabía volar. Mis olvidos bendigo, si no me pierdo, ¿cómo te he de encontrar? Si no me pierdo, ¿cómo te he de encontrar? Cuando viajo a la luna, vuelo en alas de cristal. Me baño en la luz de su ensueño y la noche me envuelve en su mar. Y me dejo caer a la tierra donde me puedas amar. Y saco mi guitarra, mi compañera, y dejo a la luna cantar. Yo sé que siempre olvido de cuando sabía volar. Mis olvidos bendigo, si no me pierdo, ¿cómo te he de encontrar? Si no me pierdo, ¿cómo te he de encontrar? So thank you. Segue. Thank you, everyone. We'll segue to Paul, I think.
Yes. Thank you, Armando and Danusha. We have such gifted people here tonight. It's just wonderful to hear and see and experience what everyone has to offer. Thank you all so much. A few words about what we're doing tonight. We're having a fundraiser. Every year, we pick someone in our community, someone in need, and we choose to offer them our support. And tonight, we're doing it for the Center for Farmworker Families and its director, Dr. Ann Lopez. And what we're going to see next is a brief video by our videographer, Janjaap. And after the video, we'll move directly into a song by Joya. And after that, who knows? All right. Thank you. So the video will start momentarily.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ann Lopez from the Center for Farmworker Families. Our mission is to promote well-being in the farm worker community. We distribute financial assistance provided by the Santa Cruz Community Foundation to help with rent, educational, and meal expenses. We distribute food assistance provided by the Second Harvest Food Bank. We have monthly distributions of food and household goods, clothing. We're having a flu clinic so people can get free flu shots. We are grateful to distribute Christmas gifts to farm workers' children provided by the Center for World Networking. Christmas is such an important time for children, especially in farm worker families, who often survive on the edge in extreme poverty and hardship. When you make a contribution to the Center for World Networking's fundraiser, you help provide those very meaningful Christmas gifts that will put a smile on a child's face and make them feel loved and cared for. Sharing love lightens the heart. Que Dios te bendiga. Yay!
All right, well then, I'll continue. This is a remake on a song about snow, Let It Snow. So this is Let It Go, and it's a Buddhist song about thoughts, which the song is a luxury because I have a house and I'm warm and dry. But I'm gonna sing it anyway because I think that being one of the warm and dry people makes it so that I'm responsible for the suffering of mankind on planet Earth since the beginning, because I can do that. I have a house. Okay. Oh, the thoughts that are delightful simply turned frightful when the mind is filled with woe. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Does your mind ever think of pausing or see the harm it's causing? All moods both high and low. Let him go, let him go, let him go. When you finally get it right, just forget about perfect form. Sleep peacefully through the night and even enjoy the storm. Old age, sickness, and dying, it's all beyond defying. 'Cause we can sing and know to let it go, let it go, let it go. So Penelope Burton did this remix. Let's do it again and just see what happens. Oh, it said that, you know, I would offer levity and do a perky tune, but I know it's on top of suffering, human suffering. So I'd like to offer a little finger dance in case you don't feel like getting up. Oh, the thoughts that are delightful, and it's hysterical with pinkies. Quickly turn frightful when the mind is filled with woe. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Do you believe we can be silly at any moment we say? That's part of our responsibility. Does your mind ever think of pausing or see the harm it's causing? Moments both high and low. Hey, let 'em go, let 'em go, let 'em go. When you finally get it right, just forget about perfect form. Sleep peacefully through the night and even enjoy the storm. Old age, sickness, and dying, it's all beyond defying. 'Cause we can sing and know to let it go, let it go, let it go. To let it go, let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Bless you, humans on the planet, in all past, present, and future. And now, on to MaryAnna. Thank you, people, for playing with me.
So good evening. Hi, I'm MaryAnna Gabay. I'm the treasurer for this wonderful organization. And wow, what an evening we've had so far. So I just want to remind you, we're here to raise funds for the Center for Farmworker Families. We're helping to give out Christmas gifts to 200 children, as well as raising very necessary funds that the Center for Farmworker Families use to support the families. And there's a few ways. You can go to our website, there's a donate button, and you can pull down and designate the Center for Farmworker Families. You can write down this GoFundMe address, tiny, Tiny, URL.com, all in small letters, / CFWN in capital letters, winter gifts, GIFTS. And for those of you who are old school cool and still use checks and the US snail mail, our PO box is 769 Soquel, California, SOQUEL, California, 95073. So please be generous tonight. We have a wonderful beneficiary. We hopefully will have another video to watch by Janjaap, followed by a musical offering by Freesia and Ray.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ann Lopez from the Center for Farmworker Families. Our mission is to promote well-being in the farmworker community. I finished a PhD, having studied and worked with farm workers for many years. As I worked on the PhD, I felt like if the public knew what I knew, this would not be tolerated. We really have a modified form of slavery in our own backyard. The average life expectancy of a farm worker is only 49 years. A life of poor nutrition, overwork, exposure to pesticides. The longer they're in California, the sicker they get. Farm workers often starve in the winter. I visited a family and their children were crying for food and they had none to give them. And when I opened their refrigerator, they had 1 head of lettuce, 2 Jell-O cups, and 1/3 gallon of milk. And I asked them where their food was, and they said, we don't have money to buy food. We've since joined with the food bank. So that's one example. Another example is this wonderful team at the Community Foundation of Santa Cruz County, who's very concerned that farm workers aren't thrown out of their rental units during this year that's been terrible for the harvest, in which they've earned very little money. They have literally given us thousands of dollars to write rental assistance checks for farm workers. Our funding comes primarily from donors who go online and donate anything from $5 to thousands of dollars. So it's really a blessing that people just keep the money flowing, and we in turn pass it on to the community and do what we can. This young lady here needs money for schooling. We're going to provide some of that for her.
Good.
Whatever we can do to improve the lives of these impoverished people.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays, and no matter how much we'd like to roam, as we long for health and comfort for our future days. For the holidays, we'll have to stay at home. Here we go. Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays, and no
how much we'd like to roam as we long for health and comfort in our future days. For the holidays, we'll have to stay at home. Gifts for friends or family, a way to show we care. Writing cards and emails, sending love out there. And as we light our trees and candles, there's a spirit in the air. Peace and kindness is the essence as we share our loving presence. There is no place like home for the holidays. As we zoom in to sing and share and if we want to live and serve each other many days, for the holidays we'll have to stay at home. For the holidays is here we'll stay. This year we'll stay at home. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, everyone. Happy holidays.
All right. Well, and I'm here at home for the holidays, but I'm with you as well. This is Jayashree, also known as Celia. And it's really what a great joy to be with all of you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm here now to open up a space for some sharing time and have some moments of connection, inspiration, and love. And I'd like to ask, first of all, Silvia, who is also a member of our steering committee, and then Janjaap, our artiste extraordinaire, to share some of the tender moments that they both had in working more directly with Dr. Lopez in this process. I have to say, I mean, I've been with the center now about 20 years, and this has probably been one of the most engaging holiday programs that we've had, and I am just like thrilled that I could join you this year, So why don't I first invite Silvia and then Janjaap to speak, and then we'll open the floor to hear from you and see how you've been touched this evening. We'll take a few moments to do that, and then we'll close. Okay. Silvia?
Yes, wonderful, Celia. So good evening, everybody. My name is Silvia Austerlich. I'm from Argentina, but my home is in Soquel, California, and Santa Cruz. And I'm going to share a little bit about the inspiration and the call to action by the Center for World Networking to provide gifts to the farm worker children from my perspective of being the Spanish-speaking interface between the center and the farm worker parents who have been calling me for almost over a month. And it's been an organic graceful, fun process. And I want to open with a quote that I love by Albert Einstein, with which I resonate. And I think that I resonate from my own personal experience and the process that I witnessed. And I also want to say that in this quote, he talks about the human being as a he. So I'm going to change that and I'm going to talk about they, because I work in diversity and inclusion. So, but this is a wonderful, wonderful quote. He says, "A human being is part of a whole, called by us the universe, a part limited in time and space. They experience themselves, their thoughts and feelings, as something separate from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of their consciousness. This delusion is kind of a prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circles of compassion, to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty." So I really resonate with this sentence about widening the circle of compassion. And this is where I personally align with the center and with this service, really, of widening the circle of compassion, generosity, and care. And so I want to share a little bit about the process. As I said, we, as a steering committee this year, decided to focus on giving gifts to 200 children. And in a few days, that list was complete. I mean, really, like families have between 1 and 8 or 9 children. So, but very soon after that, I was contacted by a volunteer coordinator from Dr. Ann's organization, the Center for Farmworker Families, and they were inspired by our service to start a similar initiative. And actually, they started with 200 children, and then they got funding, and they have done for 500 children. So it was kind of this widening the circle of generosity and compassion. And then it's been really also wonderful because I was contacted by Loaves and Fishes, a community supported kitchen and pantry. And they started giving my phone number because there were families there that were asking about gifts. And then at some point, the volunteer coordinator asked me to share the Google Doc with firefighters in San Jose who also participated. So I'll say it has been just so beautiful and so inspiring, this widening of the circle of compassion, generosity, and care. And I want to read some of the names. That's really, from an intercultural perspective, it's really beautiful. So there are some names, some indigenous names, and these are the girls' names: Yaretsi, Itzel, Adjaisa, Nayeli, Jelitza. Then there are some Spanish names like Maria, Benjamin, Fabiola, Pedro, Rocio, Franco, Luz. Then there are some English names, I mean, among the children, right? Like Kevin and Dylan and Brian and Emily, Kimberly and Jessica. And then there were other names, like Giovanni and Jacob and Isaac, Abraham, Michelle, and Galit. So right there, kind of a very interesting, I guess, observation and beautiful, no? So anyway, I'm coming to the end of my comment, but just planting the seed. I want to share that, as I was having these conversations and receiving texts and phone calls from the parents, one woman sent an email, a text, and she said, "Are you only registering kids?" And I said yes. And then I started thinking, how would it be to give gifts to farm workers And what would be a good gift? Not just like, okay, here's some money or utilitarian, although utilitarian is good too, but I don't know, that got me started. And as I say, I'm planting the seed. I don't know, I thought about like knitting scarves or art kits or maybe family portraits. I don't know, just planting the seed, what would be an inspiration to really from our heart to their heart, right? Establishing that bridge. So anyway, thank you so much for letting me share a little bit of this with you. Thank you. And I don't know where it's going. Janjaap, it's yes.
Okay. Well, that was a lot. That was very beautiful. I don't know if I can repeat anything like that. Mostly, I hope I can get through this talking to you about my experience without breaking out in tears, because I was very touched by going out there and seeing what Dr. Ann Lopez actually is pulling off. Um, I'm getting an echo right now. Does that work? Um, After the second time, I went and videotaped twice. The first time, she mostly wrote checks for people um, to help with rent, because it's been a horrible year for farm workers. And as she said, in the winter, a lot of them really starve because there's very little work and it's really hard for them. So they're being supported by the Santa Cruz County Community Foundation, which underwrites them or underwrites Dr. Lopez to pass out all these checks. And these are checks for $1,000 each. So there's 30 people coming, there's 150 people coming, there's 300 people coming on all different days. So that was the first day. And also, then there was some distribution of clothing and things like that, but the crowd was very small. The second time I went was huge. After I left and I drove away, and I realized the long line of families of women, predominantly women with children, and all their little carts that came in this alleyway for food, for support, for medical attention, for clothing. Uh, and it brought me back to India and Amachi, Amritananda Mai, and I realized that it really was the same thing. Here's a woman who is totally dedicated to lifting up um, destitute people and children. And the children really touched me deeply, seeing them digging through this pile of clothing and presents, and thinking back on my own Christmas presents and realizing the huge disparity between these two experiences. And there's one girl in particular. I watched her, and in the video she's carrying her dresses. She found all these beautiful dresses, and she's standing there in a certain way, which brought me back to a young girl of the same age many years ago, whom I photographed uh, in the garbage dump in Oaxaca, where she went after school to scavenge through the dump with her mother. This garbage dump is on fire. There's smoke all the time, toxic smoke. And again, I just imagine what it must be like for a 10-year-old young girl to be placed in those situations and those circumstances, and trying to make sense out of this world and this existence. So, and here I see, this many years later, I see the same girl. She could have been the same girl. She looked like the same girl. And by all means, she is the same girl who is digging for her clothing in a heap where there's a frenzy of people just digging through, looking for clothing and shoes and toys for their kids. You know, seeing little kids finding little toys, parts of toys, and just being overjoyed and immediately start playing with them and being stimulated by the creativity and the images that they can come up with. So that was my experience. It's very touching. It's also, I'm very grateful that I can contribute in the best way that I can by making a video and showing you the images and letting you hear the voice of, you know, Dr. Lopez and a little bit of the people that are here all the time to provide us with food, to work in the fields, during the fire, in the rain, in the sun, in the wind, and who are struggling so hard. So I'm very grateful that there is this amazing group of people here at this center. And I'm very grateful to be a part of that and to find my community here. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Janjaap and Silvia, for sharing those really very tender moments and that vulnerability with us. I'd like to now open the floor to all of you to hear from you, to hear your voices regarding what you may have seen tonight, what may have touched you, what may have inspired you. We'd like to give you that opportunity. So I'll take a breath, and you can just unmute yourself and speak, because I can't see everyone on one screen. So go forth in perfect faith. Esther, did you unmute? Did you want to say something? I see.
Well, yeah, it was all very inspiring. And I think I was particularly moved by Janjaap as he just shared, because it was easy to feel the depth of his experience. And yeah, I'm glad that this is where we're designating. I mean, there's so much need in so many places, and especially with the fires locally this year, and because a lot of us are involved with organizations that are also planetary and involved in giving to, I'm in a program where we're targeting an orphanage that was going to close in Nepal. So, but it's important sometimes, it can feel more exotic, you know, when something is further away. And I think it's really important to take care right here at home in our own community, essential. So I thank you, everybody. I'm just glad to be part of this community. And I'd just like to share one verse from one song that's for the solstice. And it's called Gather Your Courage, if that's okay. Sure. Gather your courage, gather your dreams. Everything is not as it seems. Break down is breakthrough. The old gives way to birth the new. Deep in the dark night, a new day is born. Gather your courage, hold on, hold on. Gather your courage, hold on, hold on.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. So Rose, did I see you on mute too? I'm just saying.
Oh, I did. I just hadn't unmuted. It's such an honor to be part of this community, and all of you are so beautiful, beginning with MaryAnna and Cathy, Freesia and Ray, and your music, Bhavananda, the grace and love that you brought to Guruji's message and bringing it to the moment, what was given almost a year ago. And Danusha, I just love your smile and your voice, and your music, Armando, is exquisite. And I think I'm going to forget somebody. Janjaap. Really, you do have a lot of heart, and I want to take that video and show it to people. I'm going to share it again. I can't wait to move to Santa Cruz and be more actively involved in this community. But thank you all for giving of your heart and yourselves. And Silvia, I so appreciated what you brought, and you're talking about the different people, and there does need to be more exposure to the disenfranchised, to the people that are suffering, that are just left somewhere in the dark and not considered as much as they need to be. And it is a beautiful spirit of Christmas that we're having here. It's been a joy and a delight to listen to your praise. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Rose.
Oh, Rose.
Kim, are you unmuted? I think I see you unmuted.
Well, I got a message to unmute. That's why I unmuted. I'm just all I want to say is just everyone's offerings tonight have just been, especially the last few, just been very moving. So it does feel like a holiday gathering, and we're all together, even though we're in our own homes. So I just wanted to say, blessings and thank you to each and every one of you. That's all.
Well, thank you, everyone. Unless someone else would like to chime in, I just want to say thank you again for being here, and also, thank you, Janjaap, for helping us to see, who lives in our community. We don't have to go to the other side of the world. We're talking right 20 miles down the road and from Santa Cruz, and how important that is that we know who our neighbors are. Oh, Bhavananda, did I hear you say something?
Victoria had her hand up, darling.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Victoria, go for it. Yeah.
I just wanted to thank everyone in our center and everyone that's involved with the center and this evening for participating. And I'm so happy that we can help the Center for Farmworker Families in any way we can. It absolutely blows my mind that these people are growing the food for everyone and don't have enough to eat themselves. Mm-hmm. That is just unconscionable.
Terrible.
So thank you, and Janjaap, your sincerity in the work you do, I really so appreciate it, and thank you to everyone.
Okay. Are we complete, or is there anyone else? Okay, I don't hear any takers, so that I will just turn it back over to Paul, and he will share some closing remarks. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Celia. Thank you, everyone who shared. It's touching to hear what we have to say. I want to acknowledge some people who helped make this evening possible. First of all, Dr. Ann Lopez, for allowing us to be part of her community during this holiday. She gave us the opportunity to share and give from our heart. So thank you, Ann Lopez. And Janjaap, that was a very beautiful video. I wish we could see the second one. And as people were saying, your talk was very touching. Thank you for sharing that with us. and to Ray, who this whole event wouldn't be possible without Ray. He's a man of many talented and does a lot of multitasking during these events. In fact, even now he's on his way to a different galaxy, I can see there. So do it all, I'll tell you. And of course, I want to say thank you to all the presenters this evening. Very sweet, very touching. As I said before, we have a lot of talent here in our community, and I'm glad we have an opportunity to let them share that with us. And just to remind people to donate. After this evening, you can go to our website, click the donate button, and donate to the Center for Farmworker Families, or we have a few other options there as well. So head on over after you're done Zooming with us tonight. And I also want to thank very much the women of the steering committee. These women keep the center wheels turning month after month, year after year. They find where our community has needs, they respond, they find ways to support those people in needs. Whatever task, whatever fire needs to be put out, they're there year after year, time after time. So I really honor all the women of the steering committee for what you give to us. And I'll run down the names. Anne, I don't have last name, so first of all, Anne, I saw her before. I don't know if she's here now or not, but Anne, Celia, Jayashree, Freesia, MaryAnna, MaryAnna, Silvia, Teresa, and Victoria. Thank you for keeping the center going. Like I said, it's just continual
And
work.
Bhavananda too.
I didn't say Bhavananda. I'm sorry. Pardon me, Bhavananda.
And Paul for being so brave. Yes, and Yanya. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Well, we hope you had a good time this evening. I could tell a lot of people were moved, were touched by it all. Hi, Bhavananda. It was wonderful. So remember to give, to donate after this event. Our donate button will be up for the rest of the month, so you can do it at a later time if tonight isn't possible. Our next big thing we have is heartgrams. I think everybody's familiar with heartgrams, so keep that in mind if you want to have a heartgram set for the holiday. I think that's enough about that, unless Ree just thinks that works. Okay. All right, good. Well, thank you, everyone. You all made it wonderful. You all made it possible. And we'll see you 2021. Okay? All right. Love you all.
Love you all.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Blessings, everyone.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Blessings, everybody. Thank you so much.
Love to everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and Winter Solstice blessings too.